we are going to dive into the rabbit hole called Thrustmaster. I wasn't really familiar with the product, so I deep dive, bought every single model I can find, because I just wanted to see is it really worth the money. Simply because Thrustmaster is no Logitech. I'm not really a fanboy or something like that, but the T128, I have personally never seen it before. It came with a hefty price tag, but they are saying they have the Thrustmaster hybrid drive. So I'm personally really curious what I'm actually going to get with a product like this. Two magnetic pedal and shifters. That sounds completely different than we have seen before, but is it actually that this 128T model, is it any good? Because I have reviewed different models here of different price ranges, and this thing was similar to the other ones I've reviewed. So in other words, unmatched performance with the advanced force feedback system. Prepare for a sensory overload as the T128 unleashes its power and advances of the force feedback system. I do wonder how it is when it comes to comparing Logitech. Is this really cutting edge technology in the heart of the wheel, providing an unparalleled level of immersion and realism? Or is it going to be another cheap wheel with a basic force feedback? The force feedback of the T128 is designed to accurately replicate the feel of the road, transmitting precise vibration, resistance and feedback directly to your hands. Every subtle nuances of the detail of the track surface allow you to experience the road conditions if you are actually behind the wheel of a race car. But inside the kit you're going to get everything beside the shifter, because that is something you need to buy separately, and it's quite expensive by the way, but later about that. So what you're going to get is a very cool racing wheel and a completely different thing they're selling when you're looking at the previous models. Yeah, what you're getting is something of a different overall experience when it comes to the quality, where Logitech has leather wheels and all kinds of cool fancy aluminium stuff. We're just going to get an ultimate plastic fantastic wheel, or that's basically how it feels for me. Also, when you're looking at the motor, there is by the way a fan in the inside that doesn't make a lot of noise, but it is noticeable when actually playing. Then we're having the controls that we have seen with the previous wheels. But unfortunate when you're looking at the overall quality of the wheel, it's a very small wheel, it is comfortable, but I've noticed that it's completely made out of plastic, and that gives me a feeling that I just purchased a budget product, or what? The magnetic shifters, they sound kinda and feel kinda cheap, so it's disappointing. We do have an amazing cable management feature over here. Everything has been, let's say, removed. Nothing has been attached to the system itself. So the power supply, the connection with the USB, the shifter, everything is basically separately. So you need to plug it in into the wheel itself. Weighing a total of 1.9 kilograms. It's not like a very lightweighted wheel, but it's not the same weight that I've seen with the T150. One of the biggest disappointments was the pedals. It's not like they're going to be very cheap, but horrible bad pedals. Yeah, magnetic, yada yada yada, but the thing is, when you're looking at it, it looks so freaking cheap. It's all made out of plastic, where Logitech were getting these very cool, same wheels they're using for 10 years or something like now. But everything, I don't know man, they're so small, and I think it's not very comfortable in overall when you're playing with them. It's cool that they have adjusted them, so the brake and the gas acceleration feels differently. But in the end, when you're looking at it, we do have some awesome cable management by the way. But no, there's not, no. I was really disappointed with this, I can tell you that. Let's open it up, and always be careful with a knife at home. But what you're actually going to get is a power supply that I personally don't see very often. It's an 18.5 volts special wattage they are using with these Thrustmaster wheels. Here we're just going to get ourselves a very long Type-C cable. But it's convenient that the cable is just in Type-C, so if you want to have a longer one, you can just get yourself a different one that you can just plug in. The construction that you're going to get with the racing wheel, putting it on your desk, is not the old school suction knobs that we have seen before with old racing wheels or cheap wheels. No, we're going to get ourselves a very nice construction that we have seen with different racing wheels. Now with the modular system, we need to put every cable in a certain position. And yeah, if you love cable management, you're going to like this. But before we're going to assemble this thing, we need to put all the cable in the right position. Yeah, it's the same thing that we have seen many times before with all the different racing wheels that we've reviewed here. The device looks kind of similar to the Hori wheels, but the Hori is slightly different, but I think it's a very cool and very interesting way to assemble it to your desk, and it works quite well. Unfortunate, when booting it up, it didn't recognize the wheel, so you need to set it to a certain mode. There is no display whatsoever, so you need to do it the following way. What you need to do is holding the mode button for 5 seconds. When it starts blinking, you need to hold the mode button. Yep, I'm pressing right, while we're changing the color to the one you're needing. And so far I understand blue is for PlayStation. And that's it. It will reset itself, recalibrate, and then we can actually use it on the PlayStation 5, but also PlayStation 4 of course. There we go. Let's see, it's booted up. Press the logo to boot it up. And there we go. So they wanted to have a wheel that has been designed for ergonomics, but the T128 has most of the time a little bit smaller wheel than I previously used on my PlayStation, but not in a bad way. The force feedback is absolutely an amazing feature on this, and I've noticed that they make a big improvement. And overall, the experience in combination with Project Cars 3 was just great. We're unfortunate the wheel is made fully out of plastic, so far I understand this. Yeah, this thing does have like a robust feeling to it. For me, I find the overall experience a little bit disappointing, especially when it comes to the shifter I already mentioned before. The shifter is of course a feature I personally use a lot in the previous, like say, racing games. But unfortunately when it comes to this, the feel is not the same with my Logitech, for example, where we have these very nice RVS special shifters. The overall experience is not bad at all, especially when it comes to the force feedback. The motor, the rumble, everything is absolutely great with Project Cars 3. One of the things I really liked about the racing wheel is that trying to play some Dirt 5. But because this thing is absolutely crazy when it comes to Dirt 5 with the rumble and the force feedback feature. Depending what kind of game you play, it also depends really what kind of experience you will have in the end. Dirt 5, I find it a very difficult game to play. It's a very huge learning curve, because really I love it, but it's so difficult with a controller, and even more when it comes to the racing wheel. But the force feedback will give me like an absolutely nice way just to actually know and feel how my car responds. Where I personally really enjoy myself some racing games on my PlayStation. You can also use this thing on the PC if you want to. Yeah, the problem is what I had is the overall build quality. So let's start with the pedals and also the wheel itself. The wheel, I must say the overall quality, it feels kind of cheap, and it's even more horrible when it comes to the pedals. Don't get me wrong, the pedals itself do play very nicely, but the way of this thing, how it looks and it moves around on my floor, I don't like it at all. The motor and the force feedback wheel are, in my opinion, great. I love it. The way how they basically present this product, the way how it looks, how compact it also is, I like it. But when it comes to the force feedback, there's nothing to complain there. But the pedals and the shifters, also there we're having this cheap feel again. And that is what I find really disappointing, especially when you're looking at the price tag that comes with it. If you can pick it up for cheap, let me know in the comments, because I think it may be worth picking up. But then again, there are so many ways you can play nowadays when it comes to Thrustmaster, Logitech and other brands. Thank you all for watching, and it will be great to see you in the next video.